Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Wednesday. This is Seattle Now. The tensions surrounding some international teams playing in the Men's World Cup don't seem to be impacting many of the fans who've come for the matches. Trains have been packed, soccer jerseys are all over downtown, and so far, locals seem to be exceptionally welcoming, despite Seattle's reputation for coolness. KUOW's Casey Martin and Jerry Brewer from The Athletic are here to break it down. But first, let's get you caught up. Like we mentioned, prepare for packed trains, buses, and busy roads this morning. Seattle's third World Cup match is at noon between Qatar and Bosnia-Herzegovina. Doors open at 9 a.m. at Lumen Field. There'll likely be a rush of people heading downtown during your morning commute. No bikes or scooters on the trains either. After today, Seattle's next match is on Friday at 8 p.m. No matter what you're doing today, remember to stay hydrated and protected from the sun. High temperatures are expected in the mid-80s, but then the mini heat wave is over. By tomorrow, highs will fall into the low 70s and then the mid-60s with some rain by Friday. Rain or not, if you're looking ahead to the weekend, check this out. Beginning Saturday, you can take a shuttle from the heart of Ballard to Golden Gardens Park. Pick it up at the corner of 15th Avenue and Market Street every 30 minutes. It will run every day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. through August 30th. It's $3 for a round trip, but if you're under 18, it's free. King County officials say the pilot program will ease traffic congestion and parking demand during the summer season. We're back with more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. We're almost 2 weeks into the Men's World Cup, and Seattle is in the spotlight. The city doesn't have the reputation as the most welcoming for tourists. We're really just not used to being the belle of the ball.
It seems to be in our culture to complain about stuff.
But Joe Nguyen, president and CEO of the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, says despite our salty nature, Seattleites seem shockingly proud of their city right now. Seattle's gained national attention during the matches for its beauty and hospitality.
It's a picture-perfect day in the Pacific Northwest. It is a wonderful setting.
Some of the early successes can be attributed to planning. World Cup preparations included new infrastructure and pedestrian zones, mostly to help international visitors navigate the city. The Urbanist's contributing editor Ryan Packer hopes some of it sticks around.
It is taking places that were already primed for pedestrian enjoyment, movement, prioritization, and making them even better.
It also doesn't hurt the weather has been spectacular. The sun is a natural antidepressant for locals, but maybe it's more than that. Nguyen was downtown this weekend when watch parties were packed.
Every single person talked so positive about the city and how they were so proud to be here. I think that overall mood was probably the most surprising thing for me, is not just what the world is seeing of Seattle, but what Seattleites are seeing of themselves here.
Is something larger afoot? Are we just down to party, or is the World Cup a reminder of just how cool it is to live here? Let's talk about it. KUOW reporter Casey Martin's here. He's been in the thick of Seattle's World Cup party scene. Casey, good to see you.
Hey, Trish. Thanks for having me.
Jerry Brewer is here, too. He's a senior national columnist for The Athletic. Jerry, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Trish.
So, Jerry, Seattle tied with Atlanta in a ranking by journalists for best stadium experience. How did we earn this?
Really, it's been a 2-year process in getting ready for the World Cup. One of the things that we undervalue most of the time is exactly where the stadium is. And when you clean up Pioneer Square, when you have the waterfront, which is not too far away, really in its proper state, that's when you get to get that full experience of what it's like. Everything about walking into that stadium says you are in Seattle.
Yeah. Interesting. Casey, you've been down at a few watch parties now. What are you hearing from locals and visitors about how the city's showing up?
Yeah, I mean, similar sentiment is that people are really feeling like Pioneer Square kind of coming into its own. Like, oh, this is the neighborhood that we know. This is the neighborhood that we know was possible here. And a lot of folks that have been going to Sounders games or Mariners games for years and have wanted more food options, more public bathrooms, a little bit more connectivity to the waterfront. And they're seeing this not just, for a weekend during an all-star game or something like this, but they're seeing it for, week after week. And the vibes are really good. Somebody I talked to who's a volunteer, he works in Pioneer Square, and he talks about he loves this neighborhood, and he really wanted to kind of see the World Cup up close. This is Sean Harris from West Seattle.
I saw some Egyptian guys walking through here, and they saw the water, and they just kind of go, wow. Like, it was really cool. Like, you see your own city through their eyes.
It's really interesting. I've even been noticing locals chatting up visitors on the trains who are here for soccer, which is very different than my usual commute. Are you two noticing anything?
Yes, absolutely. We've got a smile on our face. I think
Yeah.
everyone is familiar with January normally in Seattle, and it can be a pretty dour time. But just like he was saying, when you are able to experience your city through new eyes, it just makes you smile and say, you know what? This place isn't so bad.
Honestly. Casey, what do you think helped the city pull this off?
Well, Jerry mentioned this at the top, is preparation. This did not just happen overnight. There were public bathrooms that were put in. Sound Transit knew that they were going to escalate their frequency on match days. King County Metro has special shuttles just on match days. We have the downtown waterfront shuttle, which hopefully sticks around past the World Cup. These kinds of things took a lot of planning, how to make them work. Bike parking. You see thousands of Lime bikes, and Lime is trying to aggressively keep them off the sidewalks, keep them from cluttering up pedestrian spaces. That takes a lot of planning, and there are some pinch points. There are some areas that still need some work. We do see areas where everyone kind of stacks all their Lime bikes in one area because they're kind of at that invisible gateway of where you're allowed to leave your Lime bike. So I see Lime workers going out and trying to redistribute them a little bit more evenly. But I think that's kind of the learning process as you have tens of thousands of people in one small neighborhood.
Yeah, Jerry, take us back a little bit here. Why was Seattle such a good fit as a host city?
Well, I would argue that Seattle, in terms of its long-term commitment to soccer, is way ahead of even the founding MLS franchises. I mean, we're talking about a 50, 60, almost 70-year tradition for soccer. And so it wasn't like in 2009 when the Sounders FC became an MLS team that activated the soccer community in Seattle. It wasn't like they tapped it on the shoulder and said, hey, you're a big city. Guess what? You should have a soccer franchise. It was more Seattle saying, like, look, our infrastructure is here. Our passion is here. And now you see that coming to fruition. The franchise, the MLS franchise, has been around for 17 years, but it almost feels like they've been around as long as, dare I say, the Seahawks or the Mariners.
Could we host a Women's World Cup maybe in 2031? Is that even possible?
Oh, I think absolutely. The U.S. believes it's going to get that 2031 bid. And when you think about all the cities that should host games, I think Seattle should be prominently in there. The last time it was in North America, when it was in Canada, Vancouver hosted the final. And I think Seattle should be a candidate to host the final.
Is our performance during this match important to maybe making that bid for 2031?
Oh, I think so. I've been to L.A., and L.A. has done a fantastic job as a host. I will go to San Francisco or Santa Clara, and they will do a wonderful job as a host. And I've seen Atlanta and Boston and Miami and New York and everyone, Kansas City. Everyone is doing great, but I just don't think you get that community feel that we want from sports, that connection quite like you have it here.
Which is so weird to say because we have this reputation as such a frosty city. And Casey, you're not even necessarily a soccer fan. Have you been swept up? Is that part of what's happening here?
I got to say, recent new soccer fan, thanks to the World Cup. It's infectious. I do find myself when I see somebody wearing a jersey, I'm asking, where are you from? And they'll say, oh, we flew from Texas. We're so excited. We're following Team USA down the coast, stuff like that. There is this feeling of like you want to be part of this right now. Everybody's just trying to be part of this moment. Obviously, the weather has just been great to see sun-soaked waterfront. And you see the gorgeous Elliott Bay with thousands of fans just kind of meandering around. I think that gets to us, and we enjoy that we get to show off the city a little bit, that this is our identity, and the idea of bringing back, another World Cup. I think a lot of people would be hungry for it. A lot of people would want that.
If the weather was crappy for these first two games, would we be having a different conversation?
Well, I think the weather has been more the icing on the cake. I think that the plan, Seattle was already prepared. Some of it was at the nudging of the World Cup, but a lot of it was just all our stakeholders being really invested in making this an experience. Yes, if it were 60 and drizzling. Maybe some of the foot traffic and everything just wouldn't come to life. But I think even if we were cloaked in gray, this would still be one of the more memorable experiences around the country. The fact that it's been sunny makes it by far, to me, the best sight that I've seen.
Yeah. Where did we miss? Have there been any hiccups?
As much as he is loving this, Trish, Sean Harris did say, he goes into the Pioneer Square every single day, and, he would like to see some long-term improvements.
We've been struggling the last 6 years. It's been a little rough down here. I work a block away, and it's a little rough. And now I'm looking around here going, look at how pretty this place looks. You mean we had to have a World Cup to get the city looking in decent shape? What's going on?
I think downtown Seattle could always use one or two more public bathrooms. There could always be one more place to find the facilities, especially on match days when they do put up those porta potties. Those are only up just for the match days. They go away, and there's long lines at those. People are waiting about 5-10 minutes to use the bathroom. There are the permanent ones that the Wilson administration has put in that will be there long term. But, this has been a theme for a long time that Seattle just needs to do better for its public amenities, that when you're strolling around downtown, you're just able to use the facilities. Bike parking is a huge thing. People wanted to avoid car traffic, of course, and also the light rail is, pretty busy, full of out-of-towners. So people who wanted to bike to the stadiums, there's not a ton of bike racks down there. And I've talked about this a lot. But yeah, people are just kind of like chaining them to lampposts, to trees, to other people's bikes. Other people just kind of leaving them with like the truss system. I know that there's a bike valet where people are parking other people's bikes. Story incoming. But I've seen SDOT respond to those concerns online saying, we've noted that, we're learning as we're doing this. But it was pretty clear when you have so many people come right into Pioneer Square that these are the kind of things that you might overlook or you might need more of.
And, we talked about neighborhoods getting hit with a lot of people. Not every neighborhood has completely benefited from the World Cup experience.
Oh, yeah.
We heard from the CID this week that they are not experiencing the tourism numbers that they had hoped for.
Yeah, and I mean, I've talked to bars in U District and also in Ballard that say, oh man, we're so excited to have these watch parties, but we wish we got a little bit of taste of the action that Pioneer Square is seeing. We wish our bars were as filled, as packed, especially on those match days where they're overflowing, people are watching in the streets. Yeah, there is a feeling of like, man, if it could be spread out a little bit more outside of Pioneer Square as much as they're enjoying it.
Yeah, that might be a good idea for the game today, to branch out, maybe to go to the CID. Casey, also, as people head out, any other things you wish that you knew for your first games besides like bike parking, lime?
Yeah, I mean, hydration and shade. You're on your feet a lot outside, and thankfully Pioneer Square has a lot of trees and things like that. And just be comfortable that you're just going to be kind of pressed up against a lot of people, and it's going to be a good feeling. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's kind of a new thing for Seattleites to just be okay with that, but you're going to make friends. I've made so many friends from all over the world. I kind of miss a lot of the folks that have already left. But yeah, it's the comfortability of just chatting with friends around you.
Jerry, you've been all over watching games. Seattle right now is on the national and world stage for the first time in a while. What is its image?
I think its image is, wow, we didn't really expect this. I think the nation and then the world didn't expect it. I'm not sure that we expected it of
there was so much hand-wringing.
As a host, right? And obviously with some of the bigger issues that we have as a city, as a country, those were concerns coming in. But this has been just a nice reprieve from all of that. And I think in the bigger picture, I think back to where we were 6 years ago. It really like where we were 4 years ago, because we took the pandemic so seriously and we took a long time to come back. So if I can take it from 2020 to 2022 to versus to where it is now, it really feels like we can finally say to ourselves that we're back and it's okay to gather. And even though we've known that for a number of years, I don't think we've really enjoyed being together. And that's the most amazing part of any Seattle summer. So let's let this thing extend all the way into October, hopefully.
Maybe that's what we can take forward from the World Cup, is a good sense of what it means to be together again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seattle has kind of this like eldest sibling kind of responsible attitude. We're rule followers, and it's been fun to celebrate our own city, which has been great.
There was so much hand-wringing leading up to this moment. Have we realized that the crowds were enough at this point?
I mean, I think so. And there's still more to come, right? Like, we're still really early on in this World Cup journey, still in the group stage. Seattle still has 4 matches, including a round of 16 game that Team USA, if they get there, they're earmarked for. And if we thought we saw anything earlier in the week, like wait until then when the stakes are you could go to the quarterfinals. And the quarterfinal round is extremely rare in U.S. history. And so things are about to get incredibly real. I think that the first couple of matches is just about the celebration of having a World Cup. Like what starts to happen in the transition now is it is about who is the best soccer powers in the world. And the energy is going to be way different.
Interesting.
And even if we get kicked out of the party, there's still free alcohol for everyone, so have a good time.
Yeah. Well, I noticed it's bleeding over into everything. I did go to a Mariners game last Saturday night, and the stadium was packed. You know what's really interesting is the vibes have been so great, and it does feel so unusual here. I wonder if what we're experiencing is some kind of antidote to the way a lot of the city has been feeling for the past few years. I wonder if the city really needed this bounce emotionally from this event.
It's an interesting question. I think people who are more cynical would say, no, you have to do the responsible thing in order to have a good time. But in sports, these moments are incredibly fleeting, right? They're going to last days. You're hoping it can extend for weeks. And then you clean up and it's back to normal. But I think for a lot of people, the spirit, just remembering how this felt, it can carry them forward for a longer time. But I think the messaging, right, like, and this is where it has to come from our leadership. The messaging of why this went well wasn't because it was a beautiful time of year in Seattle. It was, we were prepared. We executed a plan. We even stretched maybe beyond what we wanted to do, but it was good for people. And like whenever you can get people to gather safely and feel safe, just the good vibes that we have when we're together, it's a lot easy for us to have that dour persona when we're away from each other. But when we are together and there is ground rules and there is safety and a nice enforcement presence that is not being predatory, look at what can be accomplished. And that's the message that I think we have to carry forward. Like, we can do big things. We should be more willing to do big things more often. And this is a great time if you peel back into the greater sports landscape. This is a time of ambition like we've never seen before in Seattle sports.
It almost sounds like you're saying this could be the start of something really, really great.
I think we're going to look back, and I think we're going to look at 2026 as a seminal year in the relationship between Seattle and sports. Start the year with the Seahawks winning their second world championship, and maybe you could end the year with the Sonics coming back, and you had this World Cup in which you were featured, and you outdid New York. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'll say it right now, and there's probably some New Yorkers listening. There is nothing that New York is going to be able to do in that final that is going to outdo what Seattle has done in 6 games as the host.
All right, you heard it here. Jerry Brewer is senior national columnist at The Athletic. Casey Martin is a reporter here at KUOW. Really appreciate it, you two. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime.
Thanks for listening to Seattle Now. Take a moment to rate and review the show in your favorite podcast app or share it with a friend. Today's episode was produced by Anna Marie Yanni. It was edited by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Our production team also includes Andy Hurst, Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, Bon Jones, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. Talk to you tonight for Evening Headlines.